Hey, Ken.
Yeah, Brother Dan Mandis.
So, very seldom do I hear Amy squeal with excitement.
Yeah?
But recently, she did indeed squeal with excitement. Do you know what it was about? Nothing having to do with me. I'll give you a hint.
I have no idea, Brother Dan.
Beetlejuice is coming back. The most overrated movie of all overrated movies is Beetlejuice.
What you talking about, Brother Dan Mandis?
That's a dumb movie.
Oh, get out of here. That's a great movie.
Dumb.
Iconic.
Yeah, overrated's not the word I would use.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
it's certainly not underrated. I'll call it overrated.
I would put it into the cult classic.
Yeah, you're just
category
no
for sure.
curmudgeon, Dan.
You know what? Beetlejuice, not a fan.
There you go.
And
There's
that's
a Brother
okay.
Chrisism. That's a Brother Chris Handism.
You know, I think that Michael Keaton's character in Beetlejuice, kind of a soy boy, kind of a beta.
No, that's more like Alec Baldwin's character.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Fair enough, Ken.
See there, Brother Dan?
By the way, you know what Beetlejuice is about? Trying to get all my Chrisisms in.
Yeah, I was about to say, just hitting all the...
What is it about, Brother Dan? I want to hear.
I'm not really sure, but it's really dumb. That's what I know. Amy
I
tried
don't know
to make
the story at all. I don't know the characters at all.
So I didn't see Beetlejuice until Amy made me watch it.
Right.
Who the heck is calling me? Oh, you know what? People are calling me because they think I'm off the air. So I don't know. Like Amy made me see the movie Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Whoa, huh?
Watch it. You say it 3 times. Apparently, he appears.
Apparently he appears.
Yeah.
We're very lucky. He must be occupied in another space at the moment.
Right.
Is that what it is?
That's my only guess.
So I just thought it was dumb. Like I did. I thought it was dumb. And
All right, Brother Dan.
Amy she talked about it and talked about it and talked about it. And finally it was like, okay. So I think I made her watch one of my movies if I would watch one of her. Oh, that's what it is. I watched Beetlejuice and I made Amy watch St. Elmo's Fire.
Poor Amy.
Excuse me?
I said poor Amy.
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Yeah. I said poor Amy. That movie stinks.
You did not just say that. St. Elmo's Fire is a classic.
It stinks.
Are you kidding me?
No. I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
You're such a beta.
Where's my soy? Where's my soy latte?
Somewhere Chris is on I-24 thinking, I will never be late again.
Yeah,
He's like, no.
What are they doing?
What is the well, so Amy hated St. Elmo's Fire.
I kind of figured she would. Because it stinks.
But you like Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Okay, well, you know what, Ken? I think that tells us all we need to know about Ken Weaver and the taste of Ken. It's obviously not very good. Have I gotten all my Chrisisms in?
Not yet.
What else is there?
You've got to bring up RPMC. You need to take some calls from the Red Pill Moms Club.
You know, the RPMC, you know who's a proud member of the RPMC?
Who's that?
My wife.
Yep.
She loves the whole Chris and RPMC thing, although I don't think she's ever
Red Pill Moms Club.
The Red Pill Moms Club. I don't think she's ever texted into the super text line thing. She's got the hotline.
Yeah.
So if I do something wrong, she knows where to get me, and it's not on the super text line.
The direct line to call in directly to you. Can't avoid being blocked on there.
No. I didn't know that we were blocking people on the super text line. But apparently we have blocked a couple of people.
Oh, people have been blocked?
Yeah, some people have been blocked.
Why? I know people have been blocked on the F&M Bank chat.
Yeah.
For comments and stuff like that. But I've never heard of anybody being blocked on the super text line.
Somebody told me, and I forget who it was, that they blocked somebody on the super text line.
Interesting.
And I don't know, how bad do you have to be?
Yeah.
To be blocked on the super text line?
Brother Brian, he just puts him in super serious probation.
6961 says, wow, Dan, you just dissed 90% of the audience. LMAO. Lamau?
Yeah.
You know what that means, Dan.
I know it. I'm just kidding.
I was getting ready to say.
Why? Does 90% of the audience think that St. Elmo's Fire sucks?
Sure. I bet you they do.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
No way.
That movie stinks.
All right, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a listener poll right now, 615-737-9986. St. Elmo's Fire, does it rock or does it suck? I say that it rocks. Ken says it sucks. You get to be the last word, 615-737-9986. Call right now.
Wow.
I want to know what people think.
We're going to get scientific with it.
We're going to get scientific. If only we had 10 lines to make the math easy. What do we have? What do we have, Mason? How many lines do we have? We have. Is it 8 lines? There. Here come the calls now. Mason hates me. See, now Mason's getting a taste of what Johnny has to deal with.
Right.
When I just
you just throw it down.
I just throw it. Johnny, take the phones off hold.
Phones off hold, brother Johnny, and let's take the calls. Caller, you're on the air.
Worst movie ever? Are you kidding me? St. Elmo's Fire. You know what? I may be wrong on this.
See, I told you, man.
and this is what the other funny thing is. People are texting in asking if they've been blocked. They never respond. I wonder if I've been blocked. No, the reason why I think some people were blocked is just because they were being harassing. They were harassing folks. Oh, look who's here.
That's Brother Chris.
Chris just walked in. Chris, you're early. Chris said he wouldn't be here until 9:20, but you know what? Chris heard the content that was starting off his show, and he put the pedal to the metal.
I made it.
You made it.
How are you?
I'm good, man.
10 hours of Dan.
I know. You just can't get enough. For folks who don't know what that means, I also hosted Red Eye Radio.
Yeah.
Chris, so just so you know, you may have missed it. I got in a boot. I got in Red Pill Moms Club.
I heard.
I got in Beta. I got in Soy Boy.
I was pretty impressed that you had all these remembered.
Yeah.
People were helping me on the line, on the super text line. By the way, so now we've gotten into, see, this is why you can't be late, because I will completely train wreck your show. So
I think this is helping me out. This is a hell of a lead-in, boys.
So now what we've done is Ken and I have a passionate disagreement on St. Elmo's Fire.
Not a fan.
You know what? Oh, I did get in not a fan, too. I got in not a fan. So
I actually agree with both of you. Beetlejuice is terrible as well. And,
Thank you.
And St. Elmo's Fire is not a great movie.
1313, after Breakfast Club, Elmo was a total letdown.
Yeah.
Well, let's...
Yeah. And you couldn't turn the radio on without hearing John Parr sing that song.
I can feel the music playing.
I mean, they played it like every 15 minutes.
Something.
Yeah.
Is that
very
that's
memorable.
I would rather watch the Brat Pack documentary than St. Elmo's Fire.
There you go.
Well, let's see what the people say.
All right.
I say that St. Elmo's Fire is a great movie. Ken says it sucks. Let's see what the people have to say. Line 1 is Mike on WTN. Mike, you tell me. Sucks or thumbs up?
I got to say it sucks. Beetlejuice is much better.
Yes, sir.
All right. There's no accounting for taste. I bet you he hates me as a talk show host, too.
He said there's no accounting for taste.
Brian is on the line. Brian, what do you say? Does it suck or does it rule?
It sucks. Beetlejuice is better.
Jesus. All right. I may be wrong on this. Billy's on line 4. Billy, does St. Elmo's Fire, does it rule or does it not?
Dano, I guess it must be an Oklahoma thing. I'm from Sapulpa, but St. Elmo's Fire has something in common with all the vacuum cleaners in the United States. It sucks.
Now you're done.
Good morning, Sapulpa, Oklahoma.
Chris is on the line 5. Chris, go ahead.
Beetlejuice, St. Elmo's Fire sucks. Although I'm with Brother Ken, the song from John Parr, the song rocks.
Mm-hmm. All right, very good. I can feel the music playing. Mark is on line 6, and Mark, what do you say?
It really, really sucks.
You know what? I'm done with all you people. Oh, look, Murphy show's on line 11.
Murphy.
All right,
Murphy Show.
All right. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Hey, Dan, how are you?
Good. We having fun yet?
Dan, I think I speak for the rest of the team at Super Talk 99.7 WTN when I say this. You know, we try hard, Dan. We get told all the time, Dan's a nerd. Dan doesn't understand 80s movies. Dan doesn't understand music. And we defend you, Dan. We defend you. And then after 10 hours of radio, you come on here and say that St. Elmo's Fire is a good movie?
I do. And I stand by that.
It's a good movie if you're a 16-year-old girl.
Whatever.
Dan, I will give $200 to a charity of your choice if you can tell me in 25 words or less what the movie's about.
St. Elmo's Fire?
Yeah.
It's about, I think,
plot.
5 or 6. All right, well, it's 5 or 6 young adults in Washington, D.C., and they're making their way into the world. They've got drug problems. They've got love problems. Demi Moore is in it, and she looks incredibly hot in it. Rob Lowe was in it.
Over 25 words, Dad.
That was weird.
What the hell was that? Did you do that, Mason?
No, what are you talking about?
We're trying out new hotkeys.
We love you, and I encourage you to go home after 10 hours of radio and watch The Notebook.
I was gonna ask him to stick around a little bit longer.
No, we're done. I think I've done enough damage for one day.
Chris, hands never allowed to be late again.
Never.
Here I was thinking that it's 4th of July week. The traffic is light. I got nothing to worry about.
Sure.
I can give the kids the extra hug on the way out.
Yeah.
And
You've learned your lesson, haven't you?
I did. No more hugs in the morning.
I know you're not boss anymore, but as punishment for Chris being late, I'm going to be late for 30 minutes, and Chris can do 30 minutes of my show. How about that?
There you go.
Perfect.
You have fun with that.
I'm going to find 2 awful movies to compare for the first 20 or so.
All right, Matt Murphy, are you a fan of Beetlejuice or not?
I am a fan of Beetlejuice. Yes, of course.
Yet
It's a guy's movie, Dan.
All right, Matt, thanks for checking in.
See you guys.
Bye.
Later, Murph.
Show.
That's actually good. He roasted me pretty good, actually, didn't he?
I like it.
All right, I think we're done. What do you got coming up?
Well, we're not going to talk about movies anymore. We're going to talk about the media and the coverage from the leftist media on Joe Biden and how it's an internal war going on.
Yep.
On the left, and it's fun to watch. We'll break it all down and more.
You heard the Joy Reid audio that I played earlier.
Oh, I heard the Joy Reid audio. Did you hear Darren Beatty from Revolver.news?
No.
Oh, that's some good stuff too. We'll break it all down on the Chris Hand Show. Thank you, Dan, once again for filling in while I was stuck in traffic.
You're welcome, Chris.
I appreciate the number one that you just gave me.
Absolutely, I love you.
Brother Dan.
All right, goodbye. What are we doing? Play commercials, I guess, right? All right.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Wow. 2 places on 24 westbound are closed because of 2 crashes. Right now, you got the on-ramp from Sam Ridley Parkway, and then in Laverne, it's closed there too. So it's going to take you over an hour to get to Nashville if you try to stay on 24 from Murfreesboro. That is a 56-minute delay. New polling claims bad news for Biden after the debate and COVID lockdowns. Still hurting young children today. Coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
If only somebody could have seen that, masking children might have a negative impact on their, things like speech.
Yeah, if only we had seen that.
If only somebody had said something. Right? If only. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Thanks again for Dan for covering for me while I was stuck in that hellish nightmare that is 24. I was stuck between 2 18-wheelers. There was one in front of me who was blocking the breakdown lane halfway.
Yeah.
And then there was one right next to me trying to come up the breakdown lane. And I did that for about 35 minutes. People were getting out of their cars.
Yeah.
They were going up to the truck, blocking the breakdown lane. I thought I was going to see a fist fight of some sort. People were not happy on 24.
Yeah.
But 24 is not the space of dreams. It is the space of nightmares.
Yeah,
for sure.
was. I thought I was going to see a fight club. I definitely had my camera app open. I was like, okay,
understandably so.
Yeah, you can't win for losing on 24. You're either going fast enough to where you can be killed, or you're not going fast enough so you can't be killed.
And I mean, I got to look at the accident. There were 2 flipped cars.
Oh yeah, it's bad. It's
3 other cars it is.
Yeah, it's a fatality.
Yeah, that's a shame. It's really sad, but that. What else can you say? Fatality, man.
Yeah.
That stinks. Well, prayers out to everybody dealing with that. We got a lot on the show on the way, including reaction from the Supreme Court decision yesterday. The salt mining is worth everything to me. We'll talk about it next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Again, 2 crashes now on 24 westbound trying to get to Nashville from south of downtown. That's a 71-minute delay. You got a crash in Smyrna, and then you got one there that's closer to Nashville. Well, election 2024, new polling shows former President Trump may be benefiting from President Biden's lackluster showing at the CNN presidential debate. USA Today claiming its new poll with Suffolk University of 1,000 registered voters showed Trump with a 41% to 38% lead over Biden. 41% of Democrats want Biden replaced at the top of the ticket. Both candidates were tied at 37% in this same poll in May, according to USA Today. COVID lockdowns meant kids spent more time on screens and lost critical play and imagination time, which is how they learn. That, according to experts like leading pediatrician Dr. Jamie Peterson, telling ABC News what being told to wear masks and stay away from grown-ups and don't talk to other kids means today.
Opening your milk, right, when you go through the lunch line, tying your shoes. Those used to be expectations for kindergarten that teachers you didn't have to help with, and they're doing a lot more of that.
Dr. Peterson says early intervention by doctors and working with teachers can help children get back on track. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
We have to win more. It's 9:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. We had some wins yesterday with the SCOTUS decision, the Biden campaign in full panic. It feels good, doesn't it? This is the way we should be rolling into the 4th of July. I'm excited. Are you excited? 615-737-9986. The Biden campaign slammed the SCOTUS immunity decision. They slammed it. Doesn't change the facts, says the Biden campaign. And I'm sure you know everything, right? The 6-3 decision. Presidents are covered by limited immunity from criminal prosecutions for actions taken while in office. Well, the Biden administration, they cannot deal with it. They said today's ruling doesn't change the facts. So let's be very clear about what happened on January 6th. Donald Trump snapped after he lost the 2020 election and encouraged a mob to overthrow the results of a free and fair election. Trump is already running for president as a convicted felon for the very same reason he sat idly by while the mob violently attacked the Capitol. He thinks he's above the law and is willing to do anything to gain and hold on to power himself, the Biden campaign official added. It's amazing that this is still the narrative. This is still the narrative. Donald Trump, a violent insurrection on January 6th. Let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? We can't keep letting Donald Trump get away with it, says the left. Well, I think that the left is already tired of us winning. And there may be more wins on the way. No court cases are going to be happening before the election. Justice Clarence Thomas is now calling the legitimacy of Jack Smith's appointment as special counsel into question in immunity ruling concurrence. Thomas wrote that there were serious questions as to whether Garland violated the structure by creating an office of the special counsel that has not been established by law. Those questions must be answered before this prosecution can proceed. This is after the Supreme Court ruling on Monday, their long-awaited opinion regarding Trump's immunity, challenging the J6 case brought forth by special counsel Jack Smith. We won 6-3. Joe Biden is not happy one bit. In fact, Joe Biden did a 4-minute speech. Did you see it last night? 5:45. 4 minutes, or was it 6:45? 4 minutes. 4 minutes. He comes waddling out, and he's gonna put his spray tanner on. Did you see that? That's all the internet was talking about. They were calling it Bronzergate. It's like, if you can't beat him, join him. And now he's doing the spray tans as well. Well, Biden came out, and he openly declared war on the Supreme Court. He openly continued his war against Donald Trump, and he started by saying, in America, we have no kings.
This nation was founded on the principle that there are no kings in America. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law.
Except for Merrick Garland, Hunter Biden, Joe's family.
Not even the President of the United States. With today's Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity, that fundamentally changed. For all practical purposes, today's decision almost certainly means that there are virtually no limits on what a president can do. This is a fundamentally new principle, and it's a dangerous precedent, because the power of the office will no longer be constrained by the law, even including the Supreme Court of the United States. The only limits will be self-imposed by the president alone.
You know, the Supreme Court said it's within the realm of official duties that the president enjoys immunity. But the left are masters of crafting the narrative, and they're going to run with this. From now on, you're going to hear it. I know you probably heard it on Dan's show, Joy Reid going off on her unhinged tirade. It's not even about Biden anymore, you guys. It's about the Supreme Court. We can't lose our rights. They're going to take our rights away. That's the new thing. That's the new thing. And Biden wasted little time to turn this into a campaign event and talk about J6 and talk about Donald Trump.
Nearly 4 years ago, my predecessor sent a violent mob to the U.S. Capitol to stop the peaceful transfer of power. We all saw it with our own eyes. We sat there and watched it happen that day. Attack on the police, the ransacking of the Capitol, a mob literally hunting down the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, gallows erected to hang the Vice President, Mike Pence. I think it's fair to say it's one of the darkest days in the history of America. Now the man who sent that mob to the U.S. Capitol is facing potential criminal conviction for what happened that day. And the American people deserve to have an answer in the courts before the upcoming election. The public has a right to know the answer about what happened on January 6th before they are asked to vote again this year. Now, because of today's decision, that is highly, highly unlikely. It's a terrible disservice to the people of this nation.
Oh, it's J6, you guys. We're doing J6 again. We're back on this. Here's the thing about January 6th. It would have been a completely different day if Donald Trump posted on Twitter, I need every veteran, police officer, and firefighter in the country that stands with me to come. We're going to take back our country. Do you understand how differently the day would have gone? It would have been drastically different. But he didn't say that. He said we need to be patriotic and peaceful. Over and over and over again, he said that. He said that during his speech in D.C. while they were already ransacking the Capitol. And we don't have to go down the lane of feds in the crowd, Antifa in the crowd, what happened to Ray Epps. We can look at this failure on J6 and realize it's Nancy Pelosi's fault. And this was swept under the rug so fast, but Nancy Pelosi on January 6th admitted responsibility for the chaos that ensued.
No, there's not a question of how they don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
Oh, weird. I take responsibility for not having them, the National Guard, prepare for more. Interesting, isn't it? They're not going to play that. They're not going to run that on Mockingbird Media. But Joe Biden was angry, and he always accuses Trump of being vengeful and looking for retribution. But that's what I saw from Joe Biden yesterday.
So now the American people will have to do what the courts should have been willing to do, but will not. The American people have to render a judgment about Donald Trump's behavior. The American people must decide whether Donald Trump's assault on our democracy on January 6th makes him unfit for public office in the highest office in the land. The American people must decide if Trump's embrace of violence to preserve his power is acceptable.
Again, Trump's embrace of violence. March peacefully and patriotically down to the Capitol to have your voices heard. That's not embracing violence. And if Donald Trump did want to embrace violence on January 6th, there would have been a lot more violence on January 6th because people were rightfully angry.
Perhaps most importantly, the American people must decide if they want to entrust the president once again, the presidency, to Donald Trump, now knowing he'll be even more emboldened to do whatever he pleases whenever he wants to do it.
Yeah, no, I'm with it. I will definitely trust the presidency to Donald Trump. I mean, the guy that we're trusting the presidency to now constantly has rumors pop up that he's pooping his pants. He can't form a sentence on TV. And one of the new things that the campaign's saying is that they're going to put him out there more for interviews and long form stuff. But then they put him out for 4 minutes and they don't take any questions. Yeah, I feel much more comfortable with Donald Trump in there than Joe Biden. But Biden wants you to know it's not just Sotomayor who dissented yesterday. Biden himself dissents.
Meyer's dissent today. Here's what she said. She said, in every use of official power, the president...
Oops, sorry. Computer froze.
The president is now a king above the law. With fear for our democracy, I dissent. End of quote.
Do you think he meant to read end of quote there, or was that something extra on the prompter that he wasn't supposed to do?
With fear for our democracy, I dissent. End of quote. Associate the American people dissent. I dissent.
Oh.
May God bless you all, and may God help preserve our democracy. Thank you. And may God protect our troops.
Will you drop out of race, President?
Why are you the best Democrat to beat Trump?
What makes you so confident you should be the president?
Damn it! Who typed a question mark on the teleprompter? For the last time, anything you put on that prompter, Burgundy will read.
End of quote.
Yep. I think they did it. My favorite takeaway from the 4-minute speech was at the end. He's walking out. He doesn't take any questions. It's a smaller press pool, mind you. This isn't a full room full of reporters. It's just the regular press pool. And one woman yells,
What makes you so confident you should be the president?
not in 2024, today. That she's talking in present tense. What makes you so confident you should be the president?
What makes you so confident you should be the president?
Present tense. Present, not in 2024, today. So he can go through this long 4-minute winding speech about the threats to democracy and how Donald Trump chooses violence and how the Supreme Court is unhinged and how we're dissenting. But you know what the big takeaway is for the press, Joe, after your ranting and your raving and your political speech from the White House?
What makes you so confident you should be the president?
You want to change the narrative so badly that you're going to go out there in prime time and create this speech, create a new narrative, but the media is not buying it.
What makes you so confident you should be the president?
What makes you so confident you should be the president? Honestly, Joe, what makes you so confident? And there's been meltdowns left and right from the left. AOC says she's going to try and file articles of impeachment against SCOTUS. Cool. Democrat Congressman Joe Morell out of New York said he's going to introduce a constitutional amendment to reverse the Supreme Court immunity decision. Morell said it would ensure no president is above the law and that the court failed to prioritize democracy. Okay, cool. Schumer, Chucky Schumer, he bashes the MAGA SCOTUS after the immunity decision. This disgraceful decision by the MAGA SCOTUS, which is comprised of 3 justices Trump appointed himself, enables the former president to weaken our democracy by breaking the law. It undermines SCOTUS's credibility and suggests political influence trumps all in our courts today. And they can whine and they can kick and they can scream, but the media still has one question for you, Joe.
What makes you so confident you should be the president?
What makes you so confident that you should be the president?
I'm not going nuts.
Okay. They don't have a good answer for that one. They don't. What'd you think of Joe Biden's primetime address? 615-737-9986. Love to hear from you. The spray tan was in full effect. They went from Orange Man bad to Orange Man's our guy in 4 minutes flat. Incredible. We have more reaction from the left when it comes to the SCOTUS decision. Plus, there is a war brewing between the media and the leftist Democrat establishment. I'll break it down for you on the way. Hang out with us. It's 9:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionality, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
All right, westbound 24 getting into Nashville from south of downtown is still shut down. That is because of a crash there in Laverne. And then the on-ramp from Sam Ridley Parkway is closed there in Smyrna because of a crash. And the Biden administration has chosen who it wants to develop a vaccine for the bird flu. Coming up at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong with that? Look at I mean it. What could go wrong? Looking forward to the news with Ken Weaver on the way. It's 9:58 on Super Talk. My name is Chris Hand. Tom in the Borough has a comment. Tom, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, man?
How you doing, Chris?
Good, man. How are you?
Not too bad. So Joe Biden went out and said, hey, no one is above the law.
Yep.
Okay, fine. Joe Biden and his administration went ahead and debunked the Her report. Okay, fine. So that's not true. Is Joe Biden asking to be indicted?
Well, I mean, I think it goes back to what Her said. He's not mentally fit enough to stand trial. He would be too sympathetic.
That's not what Joe Biden said.
He's too sympathetic to a jury.
But that's not what Joe Biden said. Joe Biden said, I'm the right man to be president. I'm with it. I know how to tell the truth.
Yep.
Sounds to me like Joe Biden wants his day in court. We give it to him.
I think that we should give it to him. I doubt that it's going to happen. I mean, let's be honest. These are fun things to think about, but do we really envision that happening if you don't have an R next to your name? You know?
Again, if the man said publicly, hey, no one is above the law. Hey, Mr. President, copy that.
I'm with you.
Here you go.
I'm with you 100%. 100%, Tom. I just don't know if it's ever going to happen. He also said yesterday, Joe Biden did, that he respects the office of the presidency.
I know I will respect the limits of the presidential powers I have for 3.5 years.
You got to respect those presidential powers, and he has for 3.5 years, which is funny because I remember him saying that he's not going to listen to the Supreme Court before this.
The Supreme Court blocked me from relieving student debt, but they didn't stop me.
Yeah, that's respecting the powers of the president, right? That's Joe Biden. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Ten o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, tracking heat and humidity and potential storms. And 24 is still shut down in Rutherford County in two places, once in Laverne and then again the on-ramp from Sam Ridley Parkway in Smyrna for crashes. Breaking news about vaccines. Moderna granted $176 million by the Biden administration to develop a vaccine that could be used to treat bird flu. It'll use the same technology used against COVID. Right now, the bird flu has been detected in 3 people. All apparently had regular contact with dairy cows. As of July, over 130 herds across 12 states have been determined to have infected cows. Meanwhile, leading child care expert Dr. Jamie Peterson addressing growing concern about babies' communication and motor skills after the long COVID lockdowns, says there are toddlers today who can barely speak and don't know how to play with other children.
So much brain growth happens in the first 4 years, particularly in the first 2 years. And we basically said, put on a mask, stay away from grown-ups, don't talk to other kids.
Dr. Peterson says early intervention by doctors and working with teachers can help children get back on track. Election 2024, USA Today says its new poll with Suffolk University shows former President Trump has edged ahead of Joe Biden since the CNN presidential debate. The poll of 1,000 registered voters claims to show Trump leading 41% to 38%. The two were tied at 37% in May. Here's Em Nguyen.
First Lady Jill Biden, speaking to Vogue magazine about the debate, said they will not let those 90 minutes define the 4 years he's been president. We will continue to fight, adding that President Biden will always do what's best for the country.
Now, the White House saying the president will be out in public more and will be giving more interviews this summer. But then after speaking at the White House last night, Biden didn't take any questions from reporters. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
10:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Thanks for listening. I was a little late today. Thanks again to Dan Mandis for covering for me. Heck of an accident on 24. Prayers up to everybody that's dealing with that. I heard that there was a fatality. Prayers up for the families. That's it's sad. Take it easy. You know, we're all just trying to make it to the holiday, right? We got a lot to cover. They told me when I started this show almost a year ago now, it's like, oh, well, you'll get slow news days, and that's when you're tested. I don't think we've had a slow news day since I've started. I mean, well, let me digress. There was that week where we covered the missing submarine. That was pretty slow. But since then, it's been absolute chaos. And right now, we're witnessing something that I don't think many of us can say we've ever witnessed. We're watching the leftist media go into battle with the senior leadership of the Democrat Party. We're seeing this infighting play out on TV. When Biden campaign officials go on CNN and they're getting pushed back on by guys like Jake Tapper, it's interesting to see. Darren Beatty out of Revolver News, he was talking about this just yesterday, and he's saying we're seeing a rare display of intra-regime conflict.
A very rare public display of intra-regime conflict. In this case, conflict between the media and top Democrat officials. You have the New York Times come out against Trump. Basically, every Democrat commentator come against Biden, saying it's time for Biden to go. The whole media, which is usually lockstep with the Democrats, is now saying Biden has to go.
So why is the media turning on Biden? Well, I think it's because of their own healthy egos. And I say healthy, it's probably less than healthy. But you look at these people on the mainstream media, they've covered for Biden for years, and in 90 minutes during a debate, they were exposed. Biden was exposed, the regime was exposed, and now you have all these people who have hitched their wagons to Biden. They don't want to look dumb. And they do. They look like stupid idiots that have been lying to the American public. And they're trying to cover for this now. And that's why we're seeing the media calling for a new candidate, the Democrats saying no. There was no better example of that than Jake Tapper versus Chris Coons yesterday. Chris Coons is the Biden campaign co-chair, most famously known for allowing Biden to sniff his daughter and then still hold water for him. But Jake Tapper got into it with Chris Coons yesterday, and Jake Tapper is like, I was in the room. I watched it in real time. I was there at the debate for my guy to cover for him, and my guy didn't show up. Jake Tapper is pissed, and he says that the Biden glitching out isn't new.
With all due respect, it is not honest to say that this is just one night. There have been moments like this that people have seen in front of the cameras and other moments but with cameras not there. Just 2 weeks ago, let me just show this clip. There was another moment like this, not just a senior losing a train of thought, but something else going on. Here he is. It was in an event about immigration. He tries to introduce DHS Secretary Mayorkas.
So he's going to use the Mayorkas clip. I'm not going to say your full name. I just want to point out, Jake Tapper was nowhere to be found when this happened in real time 2 weeks ago.
And there's some sort of glitch. I don't know what it is. Let's roll that tape.
Thanks to all the members of Congress and Homeland Security Secretary. I'm not sure I'm going to introduce you all the way. But all kidding aside, Secretary Mayorkas.
I don't know what that was.
That doesn't trouble me at all, Jake.
I don't know what that was. That doesn't trouble me at all, Jake.
I don't know what that was.
That doesn't trouble me at all, Jake.
Chris Coons. Huge shill. Maybe the biggest shill for Joe Biden on planet Earth. He can watch a clip. He can look at Jake Tapper going, I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that was.
And he has the audacity to say, that doesn't bother me at all.
That doesn't trouble me at all.
That doesn't trouble you at all? Not one bit. Jake Tapper has the knives out to go after Chris Coons here. And he asks him point blank, is Joe Biden the strongest candidate to take on Donald Trump?
Because you reject the notion that there's actually anything going on beyond just a bad night or a bad moment here or there, let me just ask you, do you truly think that President Biden is the strongest candidate to take on Donald Trump in November?
You can tell by the question that Jake Tapper no longer believes that. Jake Tapper watched in real time in the room Joe Biden malfunction at the debate. Jake Tapper has spent the last 3 years covering for Joe Biden. He spent the 4 years before that demonizing Trump, comparing him to Hitler. And Jake Tapper knows that Jake Tapper looks like an idiot. Jake Tapper's ego is bruised. And who can blame him? Who can blame him? They didn't give him the cocktail that he needed at the debate. And Jake is like, what is going on? You're making me look like an idiot. See, that's what this is really about with these leftist media hacks. They look dumb now. They look dumb. It's beginning to affect them. And Jake Tapper understands if he's going to have any sort of career after this, he does have to be a little fair. And his ego's bruised. So he asked Chris Coons, do you honestly believe that Joe Biden is the guy to beat Trump?
That President Biden is the strongest candidate to take on Donald Trump in November?
I think Joe Biden, two things, is the strongest, most accomplished president we've had in my lifetime.
Not the question.
Jake is so pissed.
I mean, he is on it.
Do you hear him? He says he's the most accomplished president in my lifetime, and Jake goes,
not the question.
Not the question.
3 weeks ago, he would have let that slide.
His ego's bruised. And Jake Tapper understands he looks just as bad, if not worse, than Joe Biden.
Yeah, yep. Credibility on the line. That's everything if you want to keep a job, even in the mainstream.
100%. So he says, this is the most accomplished president of my lifetime. Well, that's a lie. Chris Coons, again, proving that he's the biggest shill for the Biden administration in history. But Jake says, not the question.
Not the question.
That he's been counted out over and over and over. And he can go to the stage and say, here's my record.
Oh, that's how Chris Coons sells it. Well, listen, Joe Biden's going to get to the stage and he's going to say, here's my record. Okay. If that's what you're going to go with. I thought we were going to go with the scary threat against democracy, or perhaps the SCOTUS the train is off the SCOTUS tracks and we need to get it under control. You know, I thought they were going to lead with more fear, but Chris Coons says, no, we'll just lean on the record.
Here's my record.
That's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. And Jake continues to give Chris Coons the business about Biden. And not just Biden, but the lack of Biden's media availability.
I mean, he has given fewer press conferences, fewer interviews than any president in modern history, including the previous one, who's now running for re-election.
Yep.
And, you know, this could all be...
And the previous one told more lies per sentence than any candidate has ever told on a debate stage.
This is not the discussion that we're having. We could certainly, have that conversation. I certainly didn't particularly care for it when President Biden said no U.S. service members had been killed in the previous 4 years. But moving on from things that were said that were not true.
Yo, Jake Tapper's not having it. You're going to tell me that Trump lied? Okay, well, Joe Biden said no service members died under him. And I know some Gold Star families that take issue with that. Jake Tapper is not giving Chris Coons any wiggle room. And why should he? Why should he? I just wish we had this kind of media, I don't know, in 2019 when they were talking about the Hunter Biden laptop. Wouldn't that have been nice?
Or Russian collusion.
Honestly, where has this Jake Tapper been? But it didn't matter to Jake until it mattered to Jake. You understand? It's the fact that Jake looks dumb. Jake looks like a shill. Jake looks like an idiot. Now he has an issue with Joe Biden. Now he has an issue with the Democrat Party. And Tapper, to his credit, he says, with the lack of media availability, I challenge Biden to go out there and do a 2-hour press conference.
I think it is easy to settle this right now by President Biden going to the Brady Press Center, the press file in the White House, and doing a 2-hour press conference.
But wasn't the Biden strategy for his campaign to talk less and do less? Now they need to go the exact opposite against what they were strategizing just a few weeks ago. Do you think Joe Biden could stand up to a 2-hour press conference?
Everybody would cover it live. Networks probably would cover it live. He'd answer all these questions. It's not a crazy thing to expect a president to do.
No, it's not a crazy thing to expect a president to do, but it is a wild thing to expect the resident to do.
And the fact is, that. The campaign knows that. The White House knows that. That's how you settle this. You just put him in front of reporters, and he handles himself with acuity, aplomb. We all see it was just a fluke. Oh, my God, I can't believe it happened. And we move on.
But the thing is that the White House, the press, the Biden campaign, they all know that they wouldn't be able to just move on. It would create an even deeper conversation that needs to be had, because if Joe Biden sat out there for 2 hours, could you imagine the gaffe fest?
The fact that you haven't done that says quite a bit to me.
It says a little bit, but they know.
Jake, what I've just said maybe 3 times in this interview is that is what I am urging and recommending.
Well, Chris Coons is urging and recommending a 2-hour press conference. But you're seeing the media and the senior Democrat leadership butt heads here, because the media knows that the media looks stupid. The media knows that they're losing credibility. The media knows that the audiences no longer trust them. The American people trust them less and less and less. And if it wasn't apparent when they saw their ratings dip, it's absolutely apparent now every single time they open social media. So we have this fighting going on. We have this intra-regime conflict, as Darren Beatty out of Revolver News puts it. And he says at the end of the day, the media wants a new candidate, but the senior leadership in the party, they understand. Well, the senior leadership in the party probably want a new candidate too, but the fact remains the senior leadership in the party understand there is no time to launch a new candidate. No time at all.
Which is really interesting when you have the senior leadership of the Democrats saying, no, Biden's going to stay. You have Obama, you have the Clintons, you have major donors like Reid Hoffman, you have very esteemed strategist Axelrod, who came out and said basically what we argued months ago, which was, look, the time to have had this conversation about Biden stepping down was a year ago.
Yep.
It's too late.
It's too late. And they can say all the names they want to say. They can say Wes Moore, there's not enough time to introduce him to the country. Gretchen Whitmer, okay, I'm not even going to take that seriously. Gavin Newsom, would it be a tougher battle than Joe Biden? Yes. Do I think we could win? Absolutely. Michelle Obama is the only one that gives me pause, and I'll tell you why. It's because there's a generation of kids that grew up where Obama was made into a folklore. He's an American legend because of the programming that was given to a younger generation. And it is going to be hard to shake that programming off a 22-year-old, 24-year-old, 25-year-old, 26-year-old. It's going to be hard to shake that programming off of black voters in America. It just is. That programming runs deep. And you're going to get all the Obama goodwill back. There's only one candidate that scares me if they were to replace Joe Biden. It's Michelle Obama. But anyone else, there's not enough time.
Even if they wanted to do it, it's very unlikely that they could do it without causing more harm than they're eliminating by getting rid of Biden, due to the chaos and all the uncertainties and various factors that it would entail to get rid of him at this late hour. It would simply convey chaos. So the long story short of it is, in all likelihood, Biden is not going anywhere. And with certitude, the Democrats are completely screwed.
You love to hear it. You love to hear it. in all likelihood, Biden is going nowhere. In all likelihood, if they were to replace him, sans Michelle Obama, it would be chaos on the left. There's not enough time. The ship's going down too fast. And that's before you even get to all the other hurdles that they'd have to overcome. Like, how do we get a new candidate on the ballot? We're running up against that deadline. How do we move over the war chest of money? That creates a new series of problems as well. In all likelihood, Biden is the nominee because there's not enough time to fix it. It's 10:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, it's Chris Hand for my friends at the Glock store. And if you've ever visited the Glock store, they're your friends too. You walk in that place, you're greeted by everybody. You shake hands. They ask if you need help with anything. They did that with me. They'll do that with you. And if you haven't visited the Glock store, you really should. Especially, I don't know, if you have any interest in Glocks, right? Glock handguns, Glock performance parts. That's the space to be. There's a reason they call it the Glock store. If it has anything to do with Glock, anything whatsoever, it's going to be at the Glock store. It's going to be on the shelves. It's going to be in the back waiting to be brought out because they always get the latest stuff. And when it comes to those performance parts for your own Glock, maybe pyramid triggers, tungsten guide rods, that you really should go to the source, which is the Glock store. And they'll install all those performance parts for you for free while you wait. Yes, I said install for you for free while you wait. Plus, they have the unbelievable, undeniable Shoot 270 indoor shooting range. They don't have the lane ranges like you've seen at other gun stores. They don't do that nonsense at the Glock store. At the Glock store, it's the Shoot 270 indoor shooting ranges. Just you, an instructor, a private room, learning how to handle your Glock. I've been to lots of other gun stores, and a lot of them have indoor ranges, but once I found the Glock store, I knew I found my favorite place to buy and to train, especially to train. I could go on and on and on about the training, but you need to experience it yourself. That's the Glock store on Air Lane Drive, just off of Elm Hill Pike and Briley Parkway. The Glock store and GlockStore.com, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere.
Still got a more than an hour-long delay, 24 westbound in Rutherford County. You got two problems. First, the crash there in Laverne has it closed, and the on-ramp is closed from Sam Ridley Parkway in Smyrna. And a new development in the hush money case in New York coming up at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken. It's 10:25 on Super Talk. My name is Chris Hand. You can find me on Twitter, Truth Social, Instagram, at Chris Hand on Air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. You can listen to us on the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app. Watch us on Super Talk TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all the things. We got all the things. And if you miss anything, podcasts on Apple and Spotify. 615-737-9986. Gary in Springfield wants to talk Obama. What's up, Gary? Hey, Gary. All right, let's go to Dean in Columbia. You're next on Super Talk. What's up, Dean? Dean. All right.
Yeah, hey there.
Hey, what's up, man?
I just wanted to say one. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up?
All right. The reason we are a danger to democracy is because we're trying to restore our republic that they've been spending 150 years creating.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But the Democrats, we have to understand, and the left, they're the most dangerous they've ever been because they're a cornered, wounded animal right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Since 1913, this country's been in a downward spiral.
Yeah. What's the significance? Hey, appreciate the call, man.
No. Okay, 1913 is the direct election of senators, as well as the Internal Revenue Service, as well as the Federal Reserve. All three created in the same year under Wilson.
Hey, appreciate the call. Thanks, Dean.
You bet.
Let's go to Gary in Springfield. You're next on Super Talk. What's up, Gary?
I have a friend who is involved in executive service. He's in and out of D.C. a lot, so he knows a lot of things because of what his company does.
Yeah.
And he told me many, many, many months ago, he says, Gary, I'm telling you right here now, it's Michelle and Newsom. That's it's going to be the big surprise. And so it's no accident that Biden was not juiced up during the debate. It's all been in the works. And who shows up at the debate? Newsom showed up. And the only way they can fix this whole mess is the fact that they have to have a name. You're right. A name.
Yep.
And Michelle is the name. And there's the youth group.
There's only one that would scare me, and it would be Michelle Obama. And again, it's because of that programming that runs so deep. I mean, I remember being 18 when Obama originally got elected, and it's like people thought that they were changing the world. And you fast forward that a few years, and then you think about all these new kids that came up through the public indoctrination system that got to read about Obama as this history icon. They're not going to understand the negatives of his policy. There's nothing outlining Fast and Furious in the history books. So you still have all this positive association with the Obamas. That's going to be tough to overcome. That programming is going to be tough to overcome if they do replace Joe with Michelle.
I agree. There's one big negative. They've made so many mistakes under Biden and caused so many world problems. And then it hits home. These young people are looking and saying, it costs too much for me to live. And what if I got out all this? And who are the people responsible for what happened here? And that transformation of America, is this what they were talking about all along?
Yeah, seriously. It certainly feels that way, Gary, and I appreciate your call. On the Members Nutrition text line, John in Lawrenceburg doesn't agree with Michelle Obama. He said, Chris, Michelle Obama could not answer any questions that a president should know. She would be a disaster in a press conference as well. She would not go through that for 4 years. But we have to also point out that she would do the interviews with leftist media that would be kind to her. She wouldn't be doing a town hall on Fox. She would absolutely get softball questions. Michelle is the only one that could scare me. I don't believe that she wants to do it. I don't believe that she's excited about doing it, but it wouldn't shock me. It's 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And once again, that fatal crash has 24 shut down in Rutherford County right there in Laverne. And then before that, though, you've got the on-ramp from Sam Ridley Parkway in Smyrna closed, the on-ramp there because of a crash. Breaking news in the Trump hush money case, Manhattan prosecutor Alvin Bragg not opposed to delaying former President Trump's sentencing set for a week from this Thursday. This would be at least a 2-week delay to give the judge a chance to rule on Trump's attorney's claim the case be thrown out due to the U.S. Supreme Court's immunity ruling. Bird flu vaccine. The Biden administration announcing today it's giving Moderna $176 million to develop a vaccine against the bird flu using the same technology used in the COVID pandemic. And in Middle Tennessee, Franklin police looking for a driver in an alleged road rage incident. Police releasing a photo of a suspect in a parking lot near Franklin Road in Moores Lane. That suspect last seen leaving in a silver Toyota Tundra. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
It's 10:35 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. We're talking about the disaster that is Joe Biden and how the leftist media is no longer covering for him. And there's panic within the ranks. Is there time to launch another candidate? I don't think so. Unless there's a last name of Obama on the ticket, I don't think that they have enough time to reintroduce the country to a brand new candidate. A couple people on the line have said, listen, Michelle as president, Gavin Newsom as VP, then Michelle steps down and Gavin is president. A couple people have said that. That's wild. Brad in Clarksville on the Dems. You're next on Super Talk. What's up, Brad?
Good morning, Chris. I just got a short comment about the money. I've listened to you and I've listened to all the other hosts on the station. I've listened to TV hosts talk about how that money belongs to Joe Biden. Well, you know what? Since when does that matter to the Democrats? They'll just go ahead and move the money, and then by the time it works its way through the court system, the election will be over and they will spend it.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, would it shock you if the Democrats didn't follow rules?
They never do. Why would they start now?
Amen. I appreciate the call, Brad. Thanks so much. Let's go to Morica. Morica in Bowling Green. Marisa. What's up, Marisa? Sorry about that.
Hey, I've always said Michelle is so disliked, but Biden is just too narcissistic. He's not going to step down. But I think what they're going to do is they're going to oust him at the last minute and then put Kamala in as a lame duck president just to make history that she's the first female president and she's the first black female president. And then whoever they end up actually nominating for the candidate for the full presidency. But I think they're going to stick, particularly after seeing Kamala's interview after the debate, the disastrous debate the other night. She came across much more stern, much more calm, much more authoritative than she generally does. And I just think they're going to stick her in as a lame duck president just to make history.
Maybe. I mean, you might be onto something. They're definitely going to have a problem if they try and get rid of Kamala, and I appreciate the call, Maurice. This is Kamala after the debate.
I got the point that you're making about a 1.5 hour debate tonight. I'm talking about 3.5 years of performance in work that has been historic.
But is that the man who we saw on the stage tonight? Is that the person you see in meetings every day?
The person that you saw on the debate stage that has, for the last 3.5 years, up until today, performed in a way that has been about whether it be in the Oval Office.
I can't see people voting for her. Although I couldn't see Joe Biden getting all the votes that Joe Biden got. Sharon, who's a member of the Red Pilled Moms Club, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Sharon?
Hey, good morning, Chris.
How we doing?
So I don't see Kamala ever. Everybody hates Kamala.
Everybody hates Kamala, right? I think, everybody hates her.
Even the Democrats can't stand her.
Yep.
So I don't see that going anywhere. I mean, they're going to have to figure out something to do with her. But now I don't see Big Mike, being president either.
This is why you're a member. This is why you're a member of the RPMC, Sharon. You're dropping Big Mike on the air.
Michael LeBon Robinson, okay?
Okay, all right.
Not going to be president or vice president unless I heard your little take on it a minute ago. I mean, I think that could be a possibility that she runs if they win. If she wins, then steps down immediately. But she hated Washington, not just Washington, really. She hated, or he hated, the entourage, the constant no privacy because of all the, and I can see that if you're
I mean, I think that's just, that's like one of the burdens of fame, no matter what industry you're in. You know, people like to be able to go to Walmart and buy underwear, you know?
Yeah, without everybody watching them.
Yep.
Exactly.
100%. Hey, I appreciate your call, Sharon. Thanks for being in the Red Pilled Moms Club.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye. Let's go to Pam in Nashville on SCOTUS. Pam, you're next on Super Talk.
Well, hello, and this is your favorite independent listener that is coming back to the table.
All right.
And I want, I just don't understand why Biden just didn't thank SCOTUS, because this actually protects him. I mean, Obama, Bush, everybody.
100%.
So I don't understand what the problem is. He came out I love what Ben Shapiro says. Facts do not care about your little feelings.
Yep.
The facts are this, is that they ruled that they had, including our current president and George Bush II, all of them have now immunity while they're president. Otherwise, it's like, treason, things like that. So he should really come out thanking him. Thanking SCOTUS, going, they ruled great. I can never be charged.
Yep.
So I just found that hilarious that he just came out and just kind of rambled about, and if I hear one more time the soul of American, I don't care if it's from Trump or from our current president Biden, I'm gonna vomit. I'm tired of that statement.
But Pam, the soul of America is at stake.
No, God, no. What's at stake is my sanity with both of these presidential nominees. I feel like, if I wanted to watch two old white men to, go at it, I would watch grumpier old men again. I think this is just craziness. I mean, you're arguing about golf. I mean, there are people. I bet
you didn't think that was funny. You didn't think that was funny?
No, I found that was just child. Both of them were childish.
I thought it was hilarious though that Biden was like, back when I was VP. It's like that's over 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, but for me, it's that my dad was a vet, and I remember how hard he had to. I mean, it was years before he could get his benefits and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think about the vets are on the street.
Yep.
And while they're arguing about golf, we have got vets at that moment. We had a vet committing suicide.
And I think that you're absolutely right, and that's so sad. But I think if you look at these two candidates, which one is going to take care of our vets better? And I think that's an easy question. That's a slam dunk question.
I can't bring myself to say it. You know it, and I can't. But Pam,
you know what the answer is. Under Trump, vets were allowed to go elsewhere for care. Under Joe Biden, illegal aliens are cutting vets in line for health care.
Well, I will agree on that point, and that's the one thing that I really liked about him is that he, out of all the presidents we've had in God knows how long, he's Democrat, Republican, I don't care who was in office. That's the first time I've ever heard a president do that. If my dad had that opportunity, we wouldn't have had the problems we had with his health care. But I try to think of positive for each person that's in the current Oval Office, and I can think of a few of our current president, but for both candidates, I would say this.
I could think of a few. I could think of a few for Joe Biden. He doesn't miss the early bird special. He's always in bed by 8.
But I want you to listen to this for both of these candidates. This is both positive, both of them going in the race. You ready for this?
Yeah.
They breathe out carbon dioxide to give to plants to give us oxygen.
That's hey.
So keep going. Well, anyway, thank you for coming to the table again. And yes, I would agree that this SCOTUS ruling, it's not about people's feelings. I would be like, no, kind of thing. But the facts are this, right? And the facts are presidents have, it's not, I wouldn't say absolute, but they do have a certain latitude while they're in office, because just like judges do, just like other, people in federal positions do. And so they ruled correctly. Now, yep. I do believe they also ruled correctly on if it's personal, if it's outside, his scope of what he was doing as a president. So I agree with that too. But I believe that this country is, whether it's Democrat, Republican, Green Party, I don't care. this is not the country I remember when I was growing up. And like I said, my dad was a staunch Democrat, and so I just don't recognize it. I don't know whether I don't recognize it because it's morphing into something better.
No. The party left
burning it to the ground.
The party left.
Burning it to the ground, right? Or they're burning it to the ground in order to make it in their own image. I don't know.
The new Republican Party has much more in common with the classic liberal than the new left. 100%.
I would agree with that.
The new Republican Party is pro-free speech, pro-constitution, no new wars. There's much more in common today with the classic liberal and Republicans than the...
I would agree. I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. And I don't remember who was being interviewed, but somebody was being interviewed. And anyway, it was a very, very, very progressive. I mean, to the extreme left. We have extreme right, extreme left, but this one's extreme left. And so, one of them had said, "Well, we're talking about cutting taxes." I think it was a CNN person who reported, "Oh, you better be careful. You're talking like a Kennedy." I'm like, "Absolutely." I said, "Do you understand what Kennedy did with that?" I said, Reagan followed his pattern. And Kennedy almost did not get that through the Congress before he died. And that he recognized that the only way you're going to build business and build America's coffers, you do not keep burning them.
Yes.
You've got to have tax cut. Because if you tax cut for the business, then they're able to hire more employees. They're able to expand businesses.
Pam, you call in and you tell me you're an independent, but I'm sitting here talking with an alt-right extremist. You understand that, right?
Let me do it. I understand that I'm a Kennedy, not the current Kennedy liberal.
If JFK, when I was trying to talk my mother and my father-in-law into voting for Donald Trump, one of the things I said was, "You voted for Kennedy, right?" And they said, "Oh yeah." I said, "You understand that he would be a Republican today."
Man, okay, Chris, I'm gonna have to cut this short because you're.
Do you understand that though? If you look at the platform that JFK ran on, and you ran that exact same platform today, you're an alt-right extremist, Pam.
Oh well, I'm an alt-right, whatever, Kennedy.
Welcome to the club, Pam. Welcome to the club. You're now on a government. You're on a government watch list now. You're on a government watch list. I'm telling you.
All right, Chris, thank you.
All right.
Thank you for coming to the table. We'll talk again and have a wonderful day.
Yes, you too. Happy 4th of July. That's Pam in Nashville. There is a lot of meltdown over the Supreme Court decision, and they're going to try and make this the new wedge issue. Oh, the SCOTUS is unhinged. It started with Joy Reid last night. She posted a video online looking awful, by the way. She looked like she needed to take a shower. And she's just on this unhinged rant.
This election is no longer about the old guy that's in the White House now. Like, all the op-ed pages and the New York Times can run around and opine about, what Joe Biden should do. And, y'all have fun with that. Enjoy yourselves, intellectual thought leaders. I no longer care.
It's a lot of lip smacking in the video.
Doesn't matter to me anymore.
Again, with the lip smacking.
It's above me now. It's above me now. There's a Waffle House next door.
I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means?
There's a Best Western next door as well.
Okay.
It's above me now. It's above Joe Biden now. Don't care about Joe Biden's age, infirmity, that he shuffle when he walk. I don't care.
And this is what the left is going to do. It's not about Joe Biden anymore. We have to vote to save SCOTUS.
I honestly think she's just mad that she didn't get invited to the Waffle House after the debate there the other night.
Doesn't matter to me anymore.
It's just, this is what they do. One Democrat, not just one. I don't know if you've been on Twitter in the past 24 hours. A lot of Democrats echoed this same sentiment as Zoe Lofgren out of California. She's a Dem rep out of California. Biden could send the military to take out the court now.
I guess, theoretically, President Biden, acting within the scope of his official duties, could dispatch the military to take out the conservative justices on the court, and he'd be immune.
Yeah, okay. But no. No. That it wouldn't work that way. But let the butt hurt flow through you. The salt mining has been at ridiculous levels today. Salt prices are dropping. We have so much that we've mined. It's 10:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
24 westbound is still shut down in Rutherford County for that fatal crash investigation. It is shut down there in Laverne. But before that, the on-ramp from Sam Ridley Parkway in Smyrna is shut down too. So you've got quite the backup, and it is causing an 80-minute delay for folks trying to get to Nashville there from Rutherford County. Got new developments in the hush money case against former President Trump. I'll tell you about at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken. 10:58 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. You want to join the show? 615-737-9986. Elvis in Nashville has a Democrat prediction. What's your prediction, Elvis?
Okay, my prediction is, well, let me answer that with a question. Who spent more time pandering to Democrats when they were running for president, and nobody could figure out why she wouldn't drop off the trail?
Nikki Haley in the surge.
Yes. I'm thinking that they're going to replace, because she said in her suspension speech that our best days are still ahead of us. So she's DEI all the way. I'm thinking that it's going to be Haley Harris.
I mean, it's an interesting theory, but if you have 5 months to galvanize the Democrat base, granted, some of these guys are unknown, like Wes Moore, but who do you think is going to galvanize the Dems more? A guy like Gavin Newsom or Nikki Haley?
Well, again, DEI, first black president, female.
Yeah, but it would take a lot longer than, what are we at, 4 or 5 months to convince people that she's worthy of vote blue no matter who. That would be a hard sell.
Well, let's see what happens.
I wouldn't put it past Nikki Haley to accept that kind of an offer, but I don't think the Democrats are going to offer it personally. But I like where your head's at. You're thinking outside the box. It's 11 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and we still got 24 westbound shut down in Rutherford County. That is a near 2-hour delay. There was a fatal crash right there in Laverne, so the interstate is shut down there, and then to keep traffic off the interstate, they have closed the on-ramp from Sam Ridley Parkway in Smyrna, too. New developments in the hush money case of former President Trump, where Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg reportedly has no problem delaying sentencing by 2 weeks to give the judge time to rule on the claim by Trump's lawyers that the conviction be tossed due to the SCOTUS ruling on presidential immunity. Sentencing is currently set for Thursday of next week. Bird flu vaccine. The Biden administration announcing today it's giving Moderna the contract, $176 million to develop a vaccine against the bird flu using the same technology used for COVID. There are 3 human cases of bird flu right now, which the government says was contracted through infected cow contact. Election 2024, new polling shows former President Trump may be benefiting from President Biden's lackluster showing at the CNN presidential debate. USA Today claiming its new poll of 1,000 registered voters shows Trump with a 41% to 38% lead over Biden, and 41% of Democrats want Biden replaced at the top of the ticket. Both candidates were tied at 37% in this same poll in May, according to USA Today. Here's Em Wen.
The campaign trying to shut down any talk of the president dropping out, saying that would lead to chaos. The campaign also sharing internal poll numbers with donors, claiming to show the president's favorability ratings in battleground states unchanged after the debate.
That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer, You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
.11:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. With the disasters of Joe Biden these past couple of days, the conversation is, does Joe get replaced? Well, the Associated Press saying it's unlikely. It's unlikely. Challenges to the presumptive nominee can occur, but there are significant hurdles, according to Elaine Kamerick, a senior fellow at the Brookings Institution and an expert in the party's nomination process. She says it's been tried and it usually fails. She's a longtime member of the DNC's Rules and Bylaws Committee. She said you need a strong and persuasive alternative to Biden. And right now, there isn't one. There isn't one. Who is a strong, persuasive alternative to Joe Biden? 615-737-9986. A couple of people on the Members Nutrition text line have said, did you hear Murphy and his take about Jill Biden? I didn't. I'll ask him about it. But I don't know if Jill Biden could be seen as strong and persuasive. They say for some Democrats, the idea that Biden won't be the nominee remains a ludicrous hypothetical scenario. It's typical Democratic overreacting, said Bill DeMora, the convention director for the Ohio Democrat Party. Are delegates required to support the candidate to whom they are pledged? Under Democrat presidential nomination process, candidates are entitled to share of delegates in each state in rough proportion to the votes they received in that state's primary or caucus. The candidate who receives the majority of delegate votes wins the party's nomination. In 2024, Biden swept all but one primary or caucus, and the vast majority of the delegates at stake in those contests are his. Those delegates are considered to be pledged to Biden, which means they were selected to fill delegate slots that Biden won as a result of his vote performances in various primaries, caucuses, yada, yada, yada. However, under party rules, that pledge is more of a strong expectation rather than an ironclad legal obligation. DNC rules encourage but don't specifically require delegates to vote for the candidate they've pledged to support. Instead, the rules say all delegates to the National Convention pledged to a presidential candidate shall in all good conscience reflect the sentiments of those who elected them. In other words, the delegates that Biden won during primary season are only bound by their consciences to actually cast their vote for Biden when it comes to selecting the nominee. And although it would be unprecedented for delegates on a wide scale to support a candidate other than Biden, it could happen. It could happen. It's interesting. Could Biden be replaced? Yeah. But is there enough time? I don't think there is. And the Biden campaign, they've come up with a new game plan to fix everything. Biden's handlers were on CNN, and they're suggesting long interviews for damage control.
As they're sort of going through how they get beyond that dismal debate performance, one of the options right now is that he would sit for a high-profile interview to try and show that North Carolina rally the day after the debate was not just a one-off, that he actually can do a sit-down interview. He can do a spontaneous interview.
Am I the only one who remembers the last sit-down spontaneous interview that Joe Biden had? It was at the end of April. Do you remember how it went?
I got put in that 10 most eligible bachelor's list.
Because you were a United States Senator, you were a catch.
And so, and a lot of lovely women, but women would send very salacious pictures, and I just gave them to the Secret Service. I thought somebody would think I was, and I just gave up.
Yeah, that's how a loose, fun, long interview sounds with Joe Biden. The last time he did one of those, April 29th with Howard Stern. That's going to save Joe Biden, according to his handlers. That kind of an interview. It sounds like it would be a train wreck for the Biden campaign, and it was a train wreck last time he did a long, sit-down, loose interview. He spent a lot of that interview lying about things that are provably false, like the time he was arrested for supporting desegregationists.
And I looked at my mom, I said, honey, you haven't said anything. She said, Joey, remember, true story, she said, remember when they were desegregating Linfield, a neighborhood that was 70 homes built at one suburbia, and I told you, and there was a black family moving in, and there was people who were down there protesting. I told you not to go down there, and you went down. Remember that? And you got arrested for standing on the porch with a black family.
Right.
And they brought you back, the police. And I said, yeah, Mom, I remember that.
An interview like this is what Biden's handlers thinks will save him and pull him out of that bad debate. A loose, long-form interview. Howard Stern covered for him that entire interview, by the way. Had his back the entire time. Do they really think that this will save him? I mean, maybe if they do what they did during the Biden interview and focus on things that don't matter to the American people, like football.
But, for example, I remember starting off playing Catholic League football.